Napoleon is a brand new biopic film from acclaimed director Ridley Scott, and you might know some of his famous classic movies from Alien, Blade Runner, and Gladiator, and he's also directed recent films such as House of Gucci, The Last Duel, and The Martian. My name is Chris, where I make fun reviews for movies and more, and this movie in particular did make me question, is this a great movie? Well, this review will be spoiler free, so if you're new here to the channel, make sure to subscribe so you can stay tuned for more fun reviews. This new film to Ridley Scott's collection is all about the rise and fall of one of the greatest war leaders in human history, Napoleon Bonaparte. We see the character start off in the lower ranks of the military, but yet still very effective with his leadership and combat strategy. Since he produces nothing but great results, he eventually becomes the French emperor, and his downfall, like most men, is due to the love of a woman. In this situation is his wife Josephine. Although he's always in the winner's circle when it comes to battle, he soon realizes that he takes his confidence way too far and eventually loses everything, not once, but twice. And that's what's so impressive about this historical figure of Napoleon, because no matter how many times you doubt him, like most of us, right? Or some of us, he will always find a way to come back and take what's his at all costs. But like every single one of us, this applies to everyone, right? There does come a time where you do have to retire, you have to hang up the jersey and give it up as we get into old age and pass it on to the next generation. And for Napoleon, he absolutely loved his wife, his country, and war, and I do think that this film definitely displayed all of that, but probably not in the best of ways. So let's just get right into the negatives with this review. I do feel like the pacing in this movie was very, very slow, specifically in regards to the downtime scenes, in regards to him and his wife Josephine. The editing does go back and forth a lot between either wartime or between him and his wife just having conversations, getting freak nasty, but you can imagine that type of different energy on screen, right? It's like, okay, you have these highs from the war going on, the battles, but then you have these very low lows in regards to them and their privacy and their relationship. And I feel like the story could have had better structure and improvements in regards to that, because it did feel very scattered in regards to the politics, his love life, and the war scenes. Plus, on top of that, I mean, this guy ruled for over 30 years, so to cram that into like a 2-hour movie was probably not the best idea, although I could see the vision, I could see the branding of it. But like most of these reviewers are saying online, it probably would have been best to display his life in like an epic television saga. I'm talking about like have it go on for like 6 or 7 seasons. That would have probably been dope. Now this final con, I cannot confirm myself, but apparently according to all these historians, they are saying that this movie, in regards to the actual history between himself as in Napoleon and the war, just everything around this time, that most of it is not accurate. And this goes on for so many biopics, right? Because with the 2-hour movie, they can only put so much inside. So for me, that is a negative, because you're going to get what you get. It is what it is for this type of movie with all this history behind it. But I might be one of those few viewers of this film that I did think there were more pros than cons towards the end of this movie. The acting and drama overall I felt it was pretty good, along with the majestic set design and fashion wear. I mean, these costume designs were absolutely amazing. However, I did question Joaquin's Phoenix performance, because apparently at the beginning of this film, obviously, or most of the film, I believe Napoleon, when he's taken over doing his thing, he's like 25 years old, which is insane to be conquering the world at 25. And meanwhile, Joaquin Phoenix as an actor in modern time, like right now, present moment, he's like turning 50 or around 50 years old. That's a huge age difference. I didn't realize that till after the review, after the movie. And you could kind of see that on screen. And like, yeah, I don't know if Napoleon's also a short dude. I mean, this dude, or if Joaquin Phoenix is a short ass dude, but he looked very small, and I'm like, you know what, Napoleon probably was a little dude. But on top of that, the age difference, you could see Joaquin Phoenix, he does look old for majority of this movie, but if he's portraying a younger Napoleon, that's where it is kind of strange. I mean, I'm not that picky of a viewer, but I can see why some people might have been uncomfortable watching that. And on top of that, Joaquin Phoenix displays so many emotions for this particular character. I mean, one minute he's strong and confident, obviously as a war leader, and then behind the scenes, he's very weak and submissive with his wife. Now, this could be true, right? Because you never know who people are behind the scenes. It could be true. I just found it very strange that it wasn't really consistent for this type of character in regards to all the emotions, unless this is how it is. And this goes back to the history behind Napoleon, right? I don't know for myself if this is who he was in front of people and behind the scenes, but that's what you get watching this character. It is a lot of different emotions going on. Plus, Joaquin Phoenix didn't even use a French accent, which I guess is the safest route for an actor to play. Although for the viewer and for the character they're playing, I feel like it isn't the most authentic. I mean, I don't want to call it lazy, but you hear Joaquin Phoenix's normal voice playing this character. And I was also confused by their marriage, because one minute they seem very happy in their marriage, the next minute it seems like they don't care at all about each other, which I guess is true for most marriages, even back then. But this could all be due to the rushed writing in regards to the limited screen time they had for this movie. But as I'm talking to the camera right now, I realize I just said a lot of negative shit, and I think I did mention I was supposed to talk about the positive stuff. So let's get back to the pros, because I think I went negative, pro, and then a bunch of other negatives. So let's get back to the pros. Let's keep it moving. The cinematography and special effects for this type of movie in history was spot on. Plus the war scenes were great with much effort given. Nowadays these movies just throw up a green screen, but you could tell they had around 100 real life extras on horses in these battle scenes, which I appreciated. And I guess another negative, I forgot to mention that in the trailer they show so many awesome clips, but in the movie the scenes are very brief, like when he went to Egypt, for example. But what scene or sequence that was not a letdown is when they fought the battle on the frozen lake. They definitely played the whole part out entirely, and I would say that was my favorite part of the movie. And what's insane about this movie, and this has to be a true fact, a true statistic, is that at the end of the movie, right before the credits, they show like the stats of how many people died in these battles. I mean, these are hundreds of thousands of men that died in all these wars and battles around that time. And when you think about it, like Napoleon, I'm not gonna say he was the cause of it, like of all these deaths, but he's like at the center of it. So to have like hundreds of thousands of these men dying, and my guy Napoleon is kind of involved. He's like the guy that's in the middle of this time. That is insane and very sad on top of that. But to wrap up this review, I would say going into this, I was expecting more battle strategies and war scenes and less complicated romance between him and his wife. They literally split the screen time between the politics, romance, and war, which is what he loved at the end of the day. However, not enough screen time to portray the effectiveness of one man's iconic life. Despite the weak script and decent acting, and since I am a viewer of films who enjoys the technical features over the story features, I would say that's why I enjoyed this film more than most. And this is all due to the set designs, fashion, cinematography, which made me feel transported to this point in time in human history.
This is my uniform.
Sweet.
I'm destined for greatness.
Idiot.
I'm the first to admit when I make a mistake.
Maybe I will. Gosh.
I simply never do.
Fine.
I promise you brilliant successes.
A vibrating simply means that I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a good movie, about an 8 out of 10. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments if you guys absolutely loved this movie, or if you hated it, if you thought it was trash. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you click that like button. And if you're new here, please subscribe. I really do appreciate it. Stay tuned for more fun reviews for movies and more. And thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it as always. I'll see you all on the next one. Peace.